Hey guys, Angad from Ignite here. In today's video, we're going to be doing some analysis of some key quotes from Pygmalion. Before we do that, please be sure to check out our website at ignitehsc.com.au for more HSC resources, and please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Let's get into it. Okay, so in today's video, we're going to be sort of going through like a mock body paragraph and how you might go about organizing your quotes. And in the focus of the paragraph, an important thing to consider is relating concept, so the theme of the paragraph, to the rubric. In this case, we'll be focusing on the role of language in perpetuating and disrupting class distinctions. Here, class distinctions is the key concept or the theme, and the role of language is obviously related to the rubric of language, identity, and culture. When you're figuring out your quotes, it's important that you go in order of where they appear in the play itself, and to ensure that you try and have quotes that have diverse techniques and represent the key aspects of Shaw's writing and his techniques. So the first quote comes from Act 1, and it's Higgins addressing Eliza. Your native language is the language of Shakespeare and Milton and the Bible, and don't sit there like a crooning pigeon. Now, when you go about attempting to analyze these, you can focus on one or two techniques, but it's important that you flesh out what their effect is. So if we consider any of these three techniques, the word choice is interesting. Native, it points to Elijah as something primitive, something unusual from the norm. The reference to Shakespeare, Milton, and the Bible point to the highbrow works of literature that the upper class define as what an educated person should know. And the simile, like a crooning pigeon, is another dehumanizing representation of Eliza, whose class is defined by her inability to communicate like Higgins can. Now, if we focus on the simile here, the effect of the simile, this comparison of Eliza, is, as I said, a dehumanizing way of representing her. And this dehumanizing representation of her, the effect of this is to reveal to us how class is defined by the way in which we can communicate, which is an important consideration in the rubric, and shows us how the upper class elevate themselves above the lower class purely because of the way in which that they can communicate, and that people who aren't at their level of communication, who haven't read the works of Shakespeare, Milton, and the Bible, are for that reason undermined by that, are not able to associate with the breadth of their knowledge and the breadth of their reading, which is a marker on the capacity for one to relate to the world. So now if we think about the next quote, which appears from Act 3, the shallow depression in the west of these islands is likely to move slowly in an easterly direction. Now this occurs at the dinner party. This occurs after Higgins has attempted to reform Eliza, both in her language and in her appearance. Now the language here is important because that's obviously the theme of our supposed body paragraph. We want to talk about the role of language and what it plays. So here we see this is a humorous, as is the technique, a humorous representation of the way in which Eliza feels like she should use her manners and use her knowledge of certain topics in order to connect with the upper class. Now, the meteorological language is humorous because its tone and its formality is very jarring to the small talk that defines communications in these settings. Now, the effect of that is to show how language can be misperceived and how language is used differently in certain situations and in different contexts. Here, the context is this very formal and rigid dinner party. And these dinner parties, which define topics that you should and shouldn't speak about, are jarring to Eliza. And this is manifest in the tone that she uses, which is jarring and which is not able to be understood and not able to be a source of connection with these people that she's at the dinner party with. It also satirizes the dinner parties themselves because Eliza has been taught by Higgins, an upper class member, to speak in such a way. And Eliza obviously misunderstands this. And this is a humorous instance of how language can be misjudged. A final quote that we want to talk about occurs at the end of the play, Act 5. The difference between a lady and a flower girl is not how she behaves, but how she's treated. Now there are three techniques that you could potentially talk about here. The repetition of flower girl, the leitmotif of Cinderella, and the juxtaposition between behaves and treated. If we think about number 1 and 3, the repetition of flower girl shows Eliza gaining a self-awareness of her original situation and the situation that she is in now. And the role of language here, by repeating that phrase, it shows that Eliza's understanding of language allows her to enunciate and express the emotions that she may not have been able to do earlier on. So this is an example of the advantages that language holds in achieving or confirming or reclaiming an individual's identity. However, in this juxtaposition between behaves and treated, we see Eliza condemning this idea, which mimics Shaw's underlying message throughout the play, which is to satirize and undermine the heavy role that the upper class play of language in defining how we relate to others in our social standing. Eliza's quite insightful message that it's not how you behave or more so how you speak, it's how you treat others. And this is a pointed message to Higgins himself, who is a staunch believer as a phonetics professor that language is the way that we should be identified as humans, how our class is, how our identity is. However, Eliza realizes how superficial this is, and the effect of the juxtaposition shows us that she recognizes that Higgins' manipulation of her was incorrect. Higgins's importance on language is incorrect. Rather, it's more important how we as humans deal with each other at an emotional level, because that's what defines us. That's what defines our humanity, and that's what should define our relationships, rather than the way we look and the way we speak. And that message is something that you should consider throughout the play, and that's the underlying purpose of Eliza's journey. To mock, to condemn the importance that language is given in society. And that's quite manifest in this, and that's quite manifest in Eliza's progression. So that's a brief analysis on Pygmalion. I hope that's helped. If you want more content, please be sure to subscribe to our channel and check out our website at ignitehsc.com.au for more resources on the HSC. Thank you.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you do like the content, subscribe to our channel and we'll have more videos coming your way.
That's right guys, thanks for watching, and please make sure you check out our online resource database. We've had a team of state rank achievers and heads of English put these together for you, covering everything from essay structures and examples all the way through to craft of writing and comprehension skills. So check them out at ignitehsc.com.au, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.